And first and foremost, do we have any public or union comments? Not. We'll move on to reports. We have a new DEI person here, finally showed up. If you would.
Thank you. My name is Flor Tres-Palacios, and this is my first meeting, but I have been actively working with Krista Grant. She's been a very good mentor to me, so I'm very appreciative to what she's taught me. So what I have for this month is we have a couple of things on the agenda. I think the biggest one was we met with the Chancellor on May the 6th, and he spoke to all of the CDOs throughout SUNY. The take home that I got, which we summarized with Krista, was he clearly stated, one, the work the CDO needs to continue to demonstrate measurable impact on student success and the broader campus experience. So it's getting the CDOs to really engage with the student population and creating activities, which is, I'm going to talk about last, is something that we're going to be working on here on our campus. The second thing is I was introduced to this since I was new, but they've been working on a 25-point action plan. That 25-point action plan was announced in February of 2021 through the SUNY system. And it's basically mapping out a pathway that kind of closes the racial equity gaps to eliminate academic barriers and recommit to its mission to make sure that our students are getting what they need. And so we have completed, not we, they, I'm just joining in the last two, but 23 are done of the 25-point plan. One is in the final stages of completion, and the very last one, 25, is just in the earlier stages, but they project within the year they should have that 25-point plan and then roll it out to kind of introduce it to the campuses throughout SUNY. And the last thing is, and he clearly said, is laying the groundwork for the next iteration of DEI across SUNY. And what that means is to define what it means to have DEI in our institutions, what the role of the CDO is, and to gather collective voices from all the campuses to see what it is that they need and they want. So those were the three main things that he reiterated several times, which I thought were great. Couple of other things. I'll be attending the CDO convening conference, June 8th, 9th, and 10th. In that conference, I'll have the opportunity to learn a little bit more about the CDO role within the SUNY system, but also doing one of the seminars that is focusing on Prodigy Plus Community College. And that's a dynamic kind of it's like a commitment to provide excellent, diverse teaching faculty in institutions. And so I know very little about it, but there is a specific process. And that means there's a grant that comes along with it. You have to apply, you have to establish needs. So Greg and I will be working together on that. But since I don't really know too many of the parameters, I will be attending that and coming back with the information that's required and then figure out when the application time is. Because I think it's important to be in it and to see what we can do as far as reflecting being a part of that program. So moving forward, taking into consideration all that we've learned over the last couple of months, I've met with a group of faculty, staff, and students. We have 3 students that really want to engage with CDO work and diversity. And we're going to collaborate and create fun and educational opportunities to get to know very specifically culture and backgrounds of our college community and put that as a showcase. And so this will be an ongoing process with development throughout the summer, but then the showcase starting for the 26-27 academic year to be able to, and it's not just students, but it's really all individuals so faculty, staff, anybody that participates and works with the college community to showcase them, showcase culture, where they came from, so that we get to know one another a little bit better. And that was one of the points that they really wanted to elaborate on. So that's what I'm going to be working on.
Thank you. Have any questions? No. Thank you very much. We're going to kind of jump out of order here.
Sorry about that.
You would? I will. This is a suggestion. Type A, want to give us the foundation report?
Of course. The Perilla Gallery last art show for this year was wrap up and conclude at May 6th. And that night they have between 6 and 7. They have reception at 6:30. the award was given. Perilla Sculpture Foundation bought a sculpture for our sculpture garden, and is going to enhance the other sculpture. And they are going to be here by sometimes this summer. 32nd annual golf tournament is going to be at the Fox Run, May 21st at 12 noon. And so far, they had over 50 sponsors and $42,000. So it's about 10 minutes, sorry. And
There she is.
Hi. And Foundation 50th anniversary is this year, and is very, very important. It's a notable milestone, and they're going to celebrate that throughout the year. Foundation also, they create a committee. Mr. Winsman, Pierre Alrec, Alison Pep, and Brad Fetterplace to make a new initiative to be able to help Foundation. And the program is the Clock Tower Loyalty Society. And next is the turf field is complete, but they have to purchase goal posts, shelters, signage, and cameras, and etc. They are still have availability if anybody want to naming is available for the people. But some of them, as we know, field is the Delaney Field, and Wesson Company Shelter, as well as the Mr. and Mrs. Winsman dug out for the baseball. Am I right? Yeah. Foundation website is live right now. Relaunch it rather on the May 4th, and I apparently I went and looked at it. It's quite amazing. Thank you. And then it's www.foundationoffm.org. Last but not least, the annual Distinguished Alumni, the 19th of, and the 6th annual Clock Tower is going to take place at Holiday Inn Johnstown on November 5th. Please make your reservation, and if you have anybody to nominate, please get in touch with the foundation office. Is there any question? If not, I conclude my report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Trustee. I know that some of the people here have to leave, so we're going to move on to John. You want to give your report?
Oh, sure. All right, we're close to having an orchard. They're a small one, basically. We're not, can't rush to get it in. It was a little tempting, but we're getting a bit closer, working with Cooperative Extension to address that, which is nice. The Sustainability and Think Peace Club work together to do a lot of the phone calls, a lot of the organizing around that. So that's a real positive thing. Our sustainability plan, first draft almost done. Didn't quite get to where I wanted to be with it yet, but I have some time over the summer to play around with that one. And as you can see, we're continuing to develop our sustainability calendar here. If you wonder, you look at some of these things and some of the dates that are put in there and you think, well, World Refugee Day, what does that have to do with sustainability? Well, 40% of the world's population lives within 60 miles of the coastline. And what happens with water level rising is you're going to end up with a major refugee crisis. So that's where the overlap really is with that, with sustainability. And you're looking at like 2 billion people being displaced, which is a quarter of the world's population. So that's why those things are in there. So if you ever wonder why one of these is in there, just ask and I'll endeavor to explain it. If I can't, I'll just look it up.
Thank you, John. Any questions? Now we'll move on to our beginning of our no educational showcase. Do I have a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of April 16th, 2026? Motion by Tybee, seconded by Mr. Wilson. Trustee Wilson, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, hearing none. We'll move on to the chair's report. I really don't have much tonight other than wishing everybody a good time tomorrow night, the graduation. Hope to see you all there. Mr. President, sorry that I circumvented you, but your job. Thank you.
Just a few things and just really to repeat items that I've already shared with you. So we are obviously at the end of another academic year, and this evening is our award ceremony. As the chair indicated, tomorrow's our commencement. We've been going through the mini celebrations over the past couple of weeks. And actually, we still have some that are going on after the semester is over too. So we had the white coat ceremony yesterday for Rad Tech. We had the nursing pinning ceremony and the C-Step banquet the day before. We've also had our trio EOP award ceremony, our athletic award ceremony. So lots of celebrations going on. And then the foundation also generously hosted a luncheon recognizing the Lady Raiders basketball team last week. So lots of good things happening to wrap up the year. We had our monthly meeting with the Vice Chancellor last week. She covered various topics. We're at that point, we were still waiting for more clarification on the state budget. We're still waiting for more clarification on the state budget. They've made some minor revisions to the SUNY Reconnect program. Their focus on workforce Pell and short-term Pell programs. They've got a grant program that they're putting together that they hope to apply for as a system. There's the full opportunity program compliance that we have to do every year. And so, not a lot of exciting new things to talk about there, but just more continuing to monitor the situation and tweak programs that are hopefully going to bring us some additional enrollment. I did mention to you all that we've hired a new vice president for administration and finance. We're very excited to welcome Amy Pedrick to campus on June 15th. And we have at the present time decided to discontinue the concurrent search that we were doing for a controller to give her time to evaluate what she feels the needs are. She certainly feels comfortable with that decision. So look forward to welcoming Amy next month at our June board meeting. We have also, I've mentioned previously that we are looking at a project that's funded through the digital transformation funds to upgrade most of our enterprise systems on campus and move to a Banner SaaS product. In anticipation of that, we're looking at expanding our partnership with the SUNY iTech, which is the Information Technology Exchange Center. We already work with iTech on our networking and system support. And so we're looking at adding some chief information officer services with them to really, and having that person full-time on campus and dedicated to us and to moving these projects forward. Their board met this week and approved that. The SUNY CIO approved that. Now they are attached to Buff State for HR purposes and budgeting things. So they're now working through the steps there to start a search to fill that position. So more to come on that, and we think that'll be a nice addition for us. I'll talk to you some more about budget and finance things when we get to that on the agenda. So otherwise, I'm happy to pause and answer any questions you may have about any of those things or anything else that's on your mind.
Anyone have any questions?
They got anything going yet with the new boilers when they're going to be starting on that?
Oh, Jim, I'm sorry.
Yeah, am I allowed to give an update on that, Jim?
You are, Mr. President.
So that project is moving along very well, and the asbestos abatement is in the boiler area is complete. There's still some air handler units and other auxiliary areas that are going through the asbestos abatement. But the engineering is complete on the boiler. Fabrication is moving along on that. And the next phase, we just this week turned the boilers off. So, I mean, we had them off when they were doing asbestos abatement, but now we have concluded our heating season, so let's hope it doesn't get cold. They'll be, now the next phase for that part of the project is they're gonna start the demolition for the boiler. The chiller, we have that has already been fabricated, and we have a ship date that is coming in about a month. So originally we thought it was gonna be August, but it looks like it's gonna be here mid-June. Yeah, that's really good. They are 90% complete with the electrical updates. In fact, this weekend, they're replacing the last of the transformers. Lighting is somewhere in the 85% range of completion. And so, you know, other outstanding items that we have over the next few months are steam trap replacement, air handler replacement. But we are well within our schedule and moving along really well. So, yeah, it's nice. And hopefully we didn't just jinx that, but this project is going pretty smoothly, so.
Any other questions? I just want to say on behalf of the board, and I'm sure I speak for all the board members, that Dr. Chuck Miller and his staff have done a great job this last year. It's been very trying, you know, on different fronts that we weren't aware of. But they've worked through it, and you should be commended with your staff for a great job you've been doing.
Thank you.
Okay. Now that I made amends for my other.
You have nothing to apologize for, sir.
We'll move on to student trustee.
Thank you. It's been busy. We've had finals and all that stuff, so people were stressed out. So C-STEP had like a desserts backwards, so like a de-stress desserts, just because desserts to help out a bunch of activities to help de-stress. They also had brought the Utica Zoo, which are some nice animals. Always love that. The Ambassadors Club, we had tours. We had some students from the city come up from a program. We showed them around, high schoolers. Also, our new staff were interested in learning more, so they took some tours, which we gave, and you know, they were impressed by the size of the building, and so it's nice to know that staff is excited to be here. New staff is welcome. For the students, the student activity, we did Allison went and got a bunch of Raider gear, and to give all the students some, pick whatever they wanted for the end of the year, some, you know, represent the school. Pride Society and Art Guild had a sip and paint, so that was fun. We had the wellness fair in the past month, and it's also Teachers Appreciation Week. Thank you. They had walking tacos for the teachers and coffee day. We did Lucky Bamboo as well. Everybody got Lucky Bamboo. So if you walk around and see bamboo on the desk, that was from us. The Trio Club did it just because another de-stressor, that multiple activities. I personally engage in the soap making. I know some other teachers had some too. The play. Foggy Mountain Players, we had 2 shows of the yellow wallpaper. And yeah, went well, I guess. I was too nervous to really give a good judgment on it though. But we got wonderful reviews. And the student art show, right? So that we talked about that. I didn't find out who won though. Did they tell that yet? I didn't. Yeah.
Maybe Mrs. Lansing.
Yeah. I didn't get it either.
checks. That was to the judges and
Judges, yeah.
that and.
We'll know when we write the checks.
Yeah.
So.
I know I voted.
I did so.
And that is the conclusion of my report.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions? If not,
I just want to congratulate our student trustee on the number of awards and accolades she received at the C-Step banquet.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
And your son.
And my son as well. Yeah, he's always around if you notice. Part of everything I do.
congratulations.
And I'm signing him up for the STEP program now. He qualifies now, so I'll be doing that this week.
Great. Okay, we're going to move on to committee reports, and we're going to do finance. Dr. Truckenmiller.
So this is the official start of budget approval time. So last week you received some budget materials, an executive summary of the budget. The first thing that you're going to consider is the tuition fee schedule, which really forms the basis of our revenue. A couple of highlighted items on the tuition fee schedule. The FCA did vote to increase the dollar per credit value on the book package that the students get on first day they raised it by $1. And that was to reflect the increased expense from Barnes and Noble. So it went from $26 per credit to $27 per credit. We also increased our diploma reprint fee from $10 to $15 and our transcript fee from $5 to $10. Technology fee, we talked about this, I believe, last month. We hadn't made an adjustment in that in a couple of years, so we did adjust the technology fee. Even though, you know, the implementation of the new student information system and accounting system and all of that is going to be covered by the grant from SUNY, we will have modestly increased operating costs with that. So, you know, part of what the technology fee goes to fund are those sorts of infrastructure projects. It also really it covers all kinds of classroom technology. So we did do a $60 increase in that and a modest increase in the part-time. I think it was $5 on the part-time side per credit. So those are we left tuition the same. So tuition is remaining the same for both resident and non-resident students, and the other categories that you see on that sheet. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about that specifically, or you know, you can take this later or you can do it now. It's up to you, sir.
I'll do it now. So we have a motion here, the Board of Trustees annual approval of the tuition federal schedule. The recommendation tuition and federal and fee schedule for the 26-27 fiscal years attached. The president recommends that the Board of Trustees approve the attached tuition and fee schedule effective for the fiscal year September 1st, 2026 to August 31st, 2027. And that's in form of a motion. We have a motion. Have a second? Motion by Ty, seconded by Dan. All those in favor? Opposed, hearing none. Motion passed.
So the next, that leads us right into the operating budget, and a couple of things that I'll point out with the operating budget. So we are proposing, you know, a modest increase in the operating budget over last year. If you look at what we're projecting to end the year with, we are anticipating that while we put forth a budget that looked like it was going to utilize over $1 million of fund balance, we're projecting today that we're going to put about $500,000 into the fund balance. Things could change between now and then, but we don't anticipate drawing, number one, and we do anticipate, because through a combination of you know, additional revenue from tuition that over what we budgeted and underspending And the other part that I'll remind the board is that we have that, that applied fund balance, and it looks scary, really as a cushion for our self-insurance. So we have to pay claims, some of those we get reimbursed for. So in order to have that expense line available to us, you know, we put that into the applied fund balance so that if we need it, it's there. If we don't need it, and you'll see something similar in the proposed budget for next year. So we're anticipating right now where we thought the fund balance was going to be, depleted this year. We're looking at adding, as I said, about $500,000, and then we're proposing to apply less than we proposed to apply this year. So this year's budget that you adopted was a $1.6 million draw on the fund balance. We're proposing a 1.4 for next year. Again, I'm fingers crossed, everyone stays relatively healthy and we don't need to utilize those funds for insurance claims, but we are once again proposing over $1 million for draw on the fund balance. That still keeps us in a very healthy position, which if everything happened that we said was going to happen, we'd still have almost 37% of our budget in fund balance. So, the recommended range is between 5 and 15%. So we're well beyond that. I did highlight in the executive summary what some of these additional costs are reflected. We are proposing to add a couple of positions in the budget, one of which is an instructional position. The other is there's 3 positions really, 3.5, and 1.5 instructional positions, 1 student support, direct student support position, and then 1 that is an administrative position that we've also asked the state university to pay for as well. So it may not actually hit our budget. You'll see some additional, in terms of revenue beyond what we expected this year. We're proposing, or we're anticipating about a 5% increase overall in enrollment, but in the area of, we talked about last month, the COSER for college and the high school. We really don't know what that impact is going to be. It is 1/3 the revenue, but it could be 30 to 40% increase in that category, which is going to drive an increase in the revenue, and that is reflected in the anticipated revenue. Let's see here. We've got some additional contracted services. A lot of that reflects the addition of Banner SaaS on campus for our ERPs. We do have the energy performance contract that we'll be making payments on, and we may ultimately decide to pay that off next year, depending on how revenue comes in and expenses look, just so that we're not continuing to pay interest on that. And then we can truly realize savings on the energy improvements that we're making. So I believe Fulton County did, or I know Montgomery County did something like that, where they originally were going to finance it, and then they ended up just paying cash. And because of the timing, we weren't able to do that. So, and then we have to hold on to that for a year before we can actually make payments on it. So, other than that, we're anticipating another 18% increase in health insurance. So yeah, seems to be the norm these days. So any questions that you have about any of our expenses, any of our revenue? And then, as always, if revenue doesn't materialize the way we anticipate it to, we make adjustments.
Hey, any questions? No, I have a motion. College is required to adapt annual budget based on projected revenue and expenses. Don't Fulton and Montgomery counties are required to pass resolutions designating their annual level of contributions to FMCC operating budget and approval of the total budget amount. Following approval of the proposed budget by sponsoring counties and the Board of Trustees, the budget will be submitted to the SUNY Board of Trustees for approval. President recommends that the Board of Trustees approve the proposed 2026-27 FMCC budget consisting of $17,991,689 of operating fund revenue and the $3,464,790 of grant funds for a total budget for the 2026-2027 of $21,456,479. That's in form of a motion. Do I have a second? All those in favor? Discussion? Motion passed.
Then also in your packet, we have a motion regarding budget transfers. We also have information about budget transfers as we clean up, interdepartmental transfers and take care of things that we didn't expect at the beginning of the year or didn't plan for and have moved funds around. So there's information in your packet about those. And then there is one that requires board action. Whenever we move more than 5,000 between departments or we touch a full-time line, that comes to the board for your approval. So there was a list provided of both of those in your packet. The chair has a motion.
In the Board of Trustees, approval all budget transfers between budgetary departments that exceed $5,000 and all transfers of affected full-time salary accounts. Budget transfers arise primarily from the need to redistribute budget funding to cover expenses. This budget transfer covers expenses related to contracted services, maintenance, supplies, lease expenses, and instructional salaries. The president recommends the Board of Trustees approve the 2025-2026 budget transfers listed on the attached page, and that's in the form of a motion. Motion by Trustee Wilson, seconded by Dan. All those in favor? Okay. Motion passed.
And the next item that we have for your action is a bank resolution. So one of the things that has come up through discussions, it wasn't a finding, it hasn't been a finding, but for the last 11 years, we've been working with M&T Bank, which does not have a local branch. And so we rely on a cash transfer service when Wells Fargo comes. They used to come regularly. Now, because of the volume of cash that we actually handle, which is fairly low, it's difficult to get them here. They don't want to make a trip out for a relatively small amount of money. So we are asking the board to allow us to open a local bank account to deposit that cash on a daily basis. That helps with our reconciliation. That helps with, keeping books in order. And so we've selected NBT Bank as a local bank for that purpose. And we need the board to approve that. And
Didn't we have some issues with NBT before?
NBT was our bank before.
Many years ago.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that we had issues. One of the reasons that we moved away from them is we did an RFP in 2014. For both banking and investment services, because they were handling both. And we ended up at that point, I think we went with KeyBank for investments, and M&T was the banking partner that was selected at that time. It had to do with rates. It had to do with favorable opportunities for financing leases and things like that. So we moved all of our banking to M&T at that point. And so, if the board has concerns about us working with NBT, there are other local bank branches we can work with, so.
I don't think so much a concern. When was the last time? It was 2014?
2014 was the last time we did an RFP for banking.
That's something that we should look into maybe next year.
Absolutely. I would definitely let our new vice president get started and get her feet underneath her. And, you know, she can work on an RFP for banking services, audit services. We haven't done an RFP for audit services in a while either. So that's certainly something we can do.
So this is a temporary fix for this problem.
I guess you could say that. I mean, the reason that we're going with a local branch just for cash, this doesn't change our banking relationship with M&T, is because M&T doesn't have a local branch. So we need a local bank to deposit our cash in. It can be any local bank.
Any questions? Okay, I have a motion. The college maintains checking accounts at M&T Bank to pay operating expenses. M&T does not maintain any local branches, which necessitates the need for a cash-in transfer service. Because the volume of cash is relatively low, the cost and frequency of such services is becoming a barrier to good cash management. Delay in pickup and deposit increase difficulties of reconciliation of accounts. The finance team is requesting a local bank account for the purpose of daily cash deposits. NBT Bank has been selected. President recommends that the Board of Trustees approve the attached banking resolution, which authorizes the establishment of banking account at NBT Bank, NA, for the purpose of cash deposits. And that's in the form of a motion. I have a motion by Tybee, second. Second by Dan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, hearing none, motion pass. That concludes finance. And we'll move on to buildings and grounds with trustee Landrieu.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have just one item left on our report. We just want to bring your attention to the paving, which is kind of a nice thing that's going to happen here. Contracted and fully executed work on the courtyard between the Student Welcome Center and the Student Union is expected to take place late in parking lot paving is scheduled sometime in mid-July. Again, this is a very welcome site that we need desperately on campus. And that's all we want to bring to your attention that's left. So that concludes our report.
I do have an addendum to the paving. So we had engineers do core samples when we did the bid specs. The contractors done their own core samples, and we're currently in conversation with them about potential scope changes because their core samples have revealed conditions that aren't as favorable to doing as much as originally was discovered or hoped for or planned. We still may try to accomplish some of that outside the scope of the capital project, but we're waiting for firmer figures on that. And we're also coming to a close on the baseball field, although that's also hit a little bit of a snag. So those two projects are making up for how well the other projects have.
We get oil when they do the core samples, let us know. Okay, so we'll move on, and if there's no other questions, to academic affairs with trustee Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Grande, for providing me with the information. During the spring 2026 New York Regional PTK Conference, PTK students and FMCC's Alpha Alpha Upsilon chapter were recognized for excellence. Haley Hollenbeck, Distinguished Chapter Officer and Chapter President, Award, second runner-up. SUNY FMCC Alpha Alpha Upsilon Chapter Honors in Action Distinguished Theme Award, Theme A, Fables, Folklores, and Fairy Tales, first runner-up. SUNY FMCC Alpha Alpha Upsilon Chapter New York Region 5-Star Chapter, highest level of achievement for a PTK chapter, 7 years in a row. So congratulations, definitely in order for that. RadTech at the Atlanta Society of Radiologic Technologists Conference, FM Senior RadTech students excelled. Leo Brother, Jake Durkee, and Melissa Sapia placed second, third, and fifth in the student B out of approximately 100 students. And we have a special recognition here, Maria's niece, your niece?
Yep.
Melissa Sapia achieved the conference highest score of the practice registry exam out of approximately 135 plus students. So congratulations to Melissa. BCP team, Lexington, the ARC, transition students completed the basic business communications non-credit course and received their certificates. The MVCC Empowers Grant collaboration has proven to be successful with the security guard training, its first offering, having 15 students. I'm sure that they'll be well prepared as they enter on with their careers. And the survey of hydroponics non-credit course is concluding with 9 students enrolled. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Do you have any questions for Trustee Wilson? Not, thank you, Trustee Wilson. And we'll move on to student affairs with Eileen.
Well, the highlights were already mentioned in the president and the student trustee report. So I just want to give a shout out to 2 of our graduates, Cheyenne Hopkins and James Phillips, who received the SUNY Chancellor's Award for Student Excellence, the highest award the students can receive. We had a formal ceremony in Albany where they received that, and they'll also be recognized at the award ceremony tonight. So other highlights are in your report packet.
They're also both human services majors.
They are.
So just saying, they're both human services majors.
Okay.
Have any other questions for Eileen? If not, we'll move on to accreditation. Dan.
Okay, so just some updates on things I've been updating the board on for the last 6, 7, 8, 9 months. The first one, the strategic plan, was approved by the college assembly at their last meeting on May 5th. So, and I presented that plan to the board at your last meeting in April. So that plan will come to the Board of Trustees for approval in June. And then once fully approved, the plan will begin or take effect in September of 2026. We have finished up the 2 engagement surveys that we were working on through April and early May. The faculty survey of faculty survey of engagement. We had a 72.3% completion rate. All but 2 full-time faculty, neither one of which were here tonight. We had everybody but 2 finish those surveys, complete those surveys. So what that also means is we had a good amount of adjunct faculty also participate in that survey. So data will be available to the campus on or around July 31st for that survey. And then the corresponding student engagement survey, we had 308 students complete the survey. So that was about 21 more students that completed the survey back in 2022. And again, that data will be available to the campus around July 31st. Back in February, during the annual assessment report, I and the assessment committee chair reported that we would be assessing 3 of the 5 institutional learning outcomes. So that assessment has been complete. Those outcomes centered around communication, appraisal of information, and applying technology. Students are generally succeeding in communication, information literacy, and technology. The results are a little more mixed, or maybe the lowest in the appraisal of information ILO. And when we give the next annual assessment report to the board, we'll dig into that a little bit more. And then finally, we're working on updating the institutional effectiveness plan with 2025 data. It's the last set of data for the current plan or for the current strategic plan. And then we'll need to prepare the IEP for the new strategic goals that again begin in the fall of 2026. It's a data.
Questions for Dan? Thank you. We'll move on to personnel. Trustee McMahon's not here tonight, so you could read in your packets. Move on to policy. Dan?
Thank you, Chair. We have 3 new policies that I will summarize for you. One of those we do need to vote on tonight. The other 2 are for review. So the first one is number 3410. This is a review. This is a new policy coming down from the state. It's called Bo's Law. So Bo's Law is a New York State law enacted in memory of Bo Miller, a college student who died from a fentanyl overdose in 2022 after his family was never notified of prior drug and alcohol violations at his college. Taking effect July 1, 2026, the law requires colleges to publicly display their policies for notifying parents, guardians, or emergency contacts when students under 21 are involved in alcohol or controlled substance violations, including rule infractions, legal violations, or medical emergencies like overdoses. SUNY FMCC's college policy designates student affairs and other authorized offices to make these notifications decisions based on a case-by-case basis, balancing student privacy under FERPA and health and safety concerns. So that's a summary. The entire policy is in the packet. Seems kind of self-explanatory. We will vote on that next month. The next one is 5040, the posthumous policy. Both of these words were tough. This is the one that we need to vote on tonight. SUNY FMCC may award a posthumous degree to a deceased student who was enrolled in good academic standing and had completed at least 30 credits towards their degree at the time of death. The process is initiated by a family member or a legal representative through the registrar's office and moves through the vice president of academic affairs and president before receiving final approval from the board of trustees. Once approved, the degree is noted as awarded posthumously on the student's record and honored at commencement, where the family members are welcome to participate. So is this a resolution or are we just voting?
Make a motion.
So this is a motion to accept this policy. Do we have?
You have a second?
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passed.
Okay, the final one for review tonight is 4125, acting appointment hire / placement. SUNY FMCC may appoint employees to acting positions for up to 2 years when a full-time role is temporarily vacant, with annual review and presidential approval though acting status does not guarantee a permanent appointment. Departments initiate the process by submitting a written recommendation to HR that outlines the position, proposed employee, the duration, and the justification, and all appointments must comply with collective bargaining agreements, civil service regulations, and college policies. Acting employees may eventually be considered for a permanent placement, either through an open search or in exceptional cases via direct permanent appointment recommended by the college president and approved by the Board of Trustees. Once again, seems kind of self-explanatory. The full policy is in the packet, and we will vote on that next month.
Okay.
That concludes my report.
Any questions for trustee Colin? Okay, before we conclude, remember, if you're going to the graduation ceremony tomorrow, see Marie and get your cap and gown. Take it with you. Don't dress up at home. Don't wear it down street. Don't wear it someplace where it's gonna embarrass us.
So just a reminder for the trustees that are coming on the platform, when you come into the M&T, just go through the security check, go right up the stairs in front of you, and to the left is the suite where I'll be, and that's where you'll also be eating as well.
Okay, I mean, you can think about it.
So it's 5:30, you want us there at 5?
Yes,
Like,
please. It'll take you a bit.
Yeah,
You're gonna put that right back in the room.
okay.
Yes, and we'll take care of getting it back here.
Okay.
Yes.
Isn't it easier if you guys take it over there and we come and get it?
We have a lot of stuff to bring. We have a lot of stuff to bring.
When we bring it back.
That's
Getting there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Make it for coffee tomorrow morning, you know. Okay, a motion to adjourn. Motion by trustee Wilson, seconded. By trustee Blanchard, all those in favor? Thank you. The ceremonies or
Are we supposed to pick up our regalia?
Yes, I would definitely, I have your hats, I have everything.
We have to do this.
yeah.
Yeah, but
You're going in gym, you can put it right in gym. Oh, yeah, it's going in gym there overnight.
No. Do we have to pick up right now?